Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Nova would like to apologize for upsetting the recording schedule. Wouldn't you, little fella? Do you want to say sorry to all those nice people? No? All right, down. Go on. Scoot. This is the little pouch, so you can see where it was. Don't step on my computer. Where it was, down you get. Where it was really easy. Anyways, here we are. Okay. Couple of things. So it's Saturday. It is January 16th. We're 4 days. I kind of want to do a bit of a sort of several mini readings today. I want to take a look at the expected violence over the weekend. I want to take a look at the actual inauguration. And for those of you who haven't heard, apparently Trump is planning on leaving the White House the morning of the 20th. He apparently is planning on going to Andrews Air Force Base and doing a farewell speech. They're talking about a 21-gun salute. And this is the thing, right? Sue actually, I heard about this yesterday, and then a viewer named Sue sent me a request to look at this. So I'm going to look at it, but this is the thing you have to remember. For a while there, it looked really, really like as if he was going to leave a few days early. And the closer it got, and as the whole Scotland thing got cut off and he couldn't go there, and I think with the second impeachment, if he had left any earlier than inauguration morning, he himself would have viewed that as weak. And we all know how he feels about appearing weak. Secondly, we all have memories of those final goodbyes on, as they get on to, I can't remember the name of the little helicopter. And when they wave and off they go into the sky. Well, you know what? Trump is not going to be denied his moment because his ego simply couldn't allow him to be the only president in recent history to not have that film clip, that visual. And so my understanding is once he gets to Andrews Air Force Base, my understanding is he's going to get on to Air Force One. And no one's exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure he's going to go to Mar-a-Lago. Because let's face it, with him, it is all about the brand. It is all about the way it looks. And for him, he at this point now can't really do anything that makes it look as if he does not have, that he is not strong and he is not invincible and he is not going away with his tail tucked between his legs. So maybe since I'm on and on about that, let's start there. So Sue, this is for you and all the others who are curious about what that's looking like. Sue was concerned that he was going to somehow steal the thunder away from Joe and Kamala. That's not going to happen because, frankly, it's going to look like exactly what it is. A coward just finally getting out of people's hair and getting gone so we don't have to look at him and listen to him anymore. So, I have a question. Come on down. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Oh, while I'm doing this, just so you know, this Sunday's Positive Energy Circle, the Soulprint Positive Energy Circle, which of course is released on both the Intuitive channel and the Insights channel, is going to be about sort of tampering down the crazy, the violence. It's going to be about protection protecting state capitals, Capitol Hill, the White House. That's going to be that priority. On Tuesday on the Insights channel, we are going to be doing a guided meditation to sage the White House. And in fact, we're also going to sage Capitol Hill and try to get rid of some of the violence residue that I'm sure is permeating the halls, the walls, and the floors. So, but for right now, let's just zoom in on Inauguration morning, January 20th, and let's see what Donald is thinking and what he has planned and what that looks like and what's going on with him. Because I would think he's probably a little crazed these days. Here we go. Let's go. So interesting that this card continues to stay on the bottom, the Three of Wands. So he's looking, obviously, to the future. Donald Trump departure, Donald Trump departure, Donald Trump departure. Okay, here we go. So, of course, King of Pentacles, his card. So, this is the thing, right? There is an awareness that he really has become the emperor with no clothes. Everybody is seeing him for his true self, except, frankly, for the QAnon people. And I have never read on QAnon, and I have no intentions of starting, but I will say this. They really, really believe that somehow on January 20th, Joe Biden is going to be arrested. Hunter Biden is going to be, I don't know, incarcerated. And that by some magic wand, Trump is going to remain literally emperor of the United States. So, in fact, they actually are the only ones who really are not seeing him clearly. Let me tell you, the militia people, the white supremacist people, they see him very, very clearly. What they saw in him was a tool. They saw somebody who shared their beliefs. They saw somebody who they could follow, who was in power, more power than they had ever been able to connect to before. And so as they were spouting their beliefs, which he absolutely agrees with, but they saw him clearly, okay? They were, pushing their advantage, kind of get while the getting's good. As long as he was in office and as long as he was kind of sprouting what he was sprouting, this really, in a way, gave them cover to do what they wanted to do, all right? QAnon, that's a whole other group of people. They have truly, truly gone down the rabbit hole. And it's interesting because it makes you wonder exactly how they are going to be able to process this reality, the real reality, when this magical event does not take place on the morning of the 20th. And this is, really, this is what's going to happen. Some people are going to start to pull away from it. A lot of them are going to go further, even down the rabbit hole. They're going to go underground. They're going to continue to somehow tell themselves these magical stories. But those around Trump see him clearly. And, they want him gone. Even the Ted Cruz's and the Josh Hawleys already are figuring out, listen, this guy needs to go because he's destroyed my career. I am likely to be in not only political peril, but frankly, legal peril. And while they may spout something to the cameras, internally they have a great deal of clarity about exactly how dangerous um, and precarious, frankly, the position that they have put themselves in, sort of following this guy, listening to him, carrying his water. Behind the scenes, there is a lot of friction. Right now, there is a lot of effort and energy being spent trying to pacify him, trying to stoke his ego, trying to keep him calm. And, this is the thing. I mean, even the Joint Chiefs of Staff have said, listen, you try to do something crazy, we're not going along with it. No president, you're not going to get away with anything really crazy. There are some things, I mean, they had that pillow guy talking about martial law, and who is that pillow guy anyways? So, but really at this point, it is a matter of kind of, just keeping him calm, kind of still giving him little morsels so that he can be hopeful and doesn't come completely unglued before the 20th. But really, what's going on behind the scenes is a lot of pacifying. It's a lot of keeping the beast kind of calm, or at least as calm as he can be kept. If there is violence tomorrow, or Monday or Tuesday, right? He is going to see that truly as an ego boost. But I think the other thing he's going to see, and we'll get more into that when I tackle that question, but the other thing he's going to see is the powerful force of the government proper, the National Guard, the police force, et cetera, really pushing back on that kind of, like not only un-American, but frankly crazy behavior. And this is not something that by and large is acceptable, and it's going to be accepted. So on the one hand, he's kind of like looking for that last boost of I'm amazing, look at me. And on the other side of it, it feels very much like he's going to get slammed against reality, because there's going to be a play of force that is pushing back. Certainly a far more powerful force that pushed back on Capitol Hill in the 6th. But he's going to take every last bit of adulation, of ego stroking messages, behaviors that he can possibly garner on his way out the door. That's the reason that he's going to get into that helicopter. That's the reason that he's going to get on Air Force One. Going to be interesting to see if Melania's with him. I suspect she probably will be. This would be sort of her last official act as a do-nothing First Lady. So I guess, have at it, right? This is the other thing that's coming through really clearly. Okay, so first of all, there's going to be a rash of pardons that go on. And in some ways, he's going to really push the boundaries of the pardon power, as he has already done. But it feels as if, some of those pardons, I want to somehow say like they're not going to be worth the paper they're written on. And I'm not understanding that simply because the power of pardon is so absolute. But it feels as if somewhere down the line, these people who have gotten pardoned, particularly that inner circle, the family, that kind of thing, it's sort of going to be like, oh, okay, we can't come at you from the right door. That's okay. We're going to come at you from the left door. So whether that means that the state themselves ramp up kind of what they're doing, I don't know, but it just feels like some of those people, those pardons are not actually going to really protect them in any significant way. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. Trump has gotten, he has wrung every last asset out of that presidency that he possibly can. Make no mistake. He has piled it all up. Unfortunately, you know, there are still some who are going to play ball with the Trumps, but by and large, the Trumps have now become piranhas, and nobody really, really wants to be associated with them. Even those kind of big corporations or the billionaires who backed him, they're not going to continue to back Trump. They are going to redirect their energy to, you know, the senators and the the House the House leaders or members. Sorry, the Congress people generally. That's where they're going to start directing their money to. But even they are going to have to be careful because there really is going to continue to be a backlash. This is the thing, that this story about what happened at Capitol Hill is not dying down. It is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more explosive as more video footage comes out, as people are starting to talk about their actual experiences. And once the impeachment trial starts, which I believe energetically is going to probably take place or start somewhere, I think maybe around the last week of January. I don't think it's going to start on the 20th or 21st, but that following Monday, it may very well kick in then or during that next week sometimes. But he's taken everything that he can take. But again, it just doesn't feel like ultimately it's going to serve him. You know, kind of like ill-gotten gains, right? And make no mistake, he is going to be haunted for the rest of his natural life with lawsuits, with trying to defend himself, with running out of money. He's not going to find backers. He's not going to find people who want to support him. And, you know, even if he is able to sort of continue the suspected money laundering Russia thing, and even if Russia continues to finance him, although, again, not really sure why they would, because they got more out of Trump than they ever could have dreamed of, it just doesn't feel like he's really, really going to get anywhere with it. He still owes favors, and he now doesn't have the means to hold up his end of the bargain. And the law, oh my Lord, the law is coming after him. And Joe Biden taking over his presidency, or the presidency, is just going to sit in his craw with every breath he takes. All right. Now, let's take a look at let's take a look at the weekend. I also want to let you know on Monday, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of pendulum questions for those who love the pendulums. I'm sure you're going to look forward to it. For those who don't like it, sorry, that's what's happening. There might be some small card reading going on that day, but it's kind of going to be one of those, you know, top 50 questions or whatever for the pendulum. If you have ones that you would really like to, things you really want to ask, please put it in the comment section of this video. But make sure you frame your question for a yes/no answer, okay? And I'll do my level best to get through them and answer those questions. And of course, for those of you who use your pendulum along with mine, and surprisingly get the most remarkably same answers, yeah, so that's interesting. Also, thank you for all of those of you who commented on the disembodied yes. I can promise you it was not anybody from this house. I know where the people were and what they were doing, and they were not anywhere near me. And someone I know very well, who knows my family very well, was very clear that, you know, they know the people's voices and that voice was not theirs. So that came. Now, there was a psychic investigator, thank you very much, who said that absolutely was a disembodied voice. And no, I did not hear it at the time. And So we'll see, I guess, maybe with the next pendulum work, if that soul, that spirit, that energy is going to want to continue to answer the questions before the pendulum can. But that was a very interesting experience, and truly, I have no more insights than you guys. But it was very cool. And it's kind of cool, actually, that experience it's on tape, right? And it's been recorded. So that's very, very interesting. All right, here we go. Let's talk about the weekend. This weekend, it's Saturday kind of morning. So, what does the rest of the day look like? What does Saturday or Sunday look like? And even possibly going into Monday. So come on down. Let's take a look. I have a question. Insurgents, political violence. Insurgents, political violence. Insurgents, political violence. Sorry, that was the Three of Cups that caught my eye at the bottom there. Okay. So I have to tell you, it sort of feels like as if a lot of the rioters really had the winds taken out of their sails as the reality of what happened and what went on is starting to sink in. In the moment, they were all rah, rah, let's do this. But, it's a funny thing when the FBI comes banging on your door. So it feels as if some of that momentum has kind of lost it's lost some of its power. Now, that's not to say that it's over, because what's left, who is willing to, go to the wall, those are the militias, those are the white supremacists, and they are incredibly dangerous. They do not fall into the same category as, those delusional Trumpers who believed the nonsense, okay? The white supremacists and the militias, they knew he was full of BS. But he was a very, very helpful tool for them. The Trumpsters, they believed it, okay? And they're the ones who are going to be disillusioned going forward. And frankly, they're the ones that the Republican Party is going to have a horrendously difficult time drawing back into the fold, because as more and more becomes clear, as sort of the crazy starts to dissipate and the truth starts coming out more and more and more, they're going to be really incredibly disillusioned. Some of them may become, violent and angry, but a lot of them are just sort of going to, it's like I'm feeling like this overwhelming feeling of like just defeat, and I give up. And who can you trust? You can't trust anybody, so the hell with it. So it's sort of that energy around a lot of them. But again, the ones that were there for their own sort of higher purpose, their own higher beliefs, the white supremacists, the militias who think there shouldn't be any government, those are on the march. Make no mistake about it. The thing is that there is now incredible defense in place, okay? Really pretty much everywhere. The state capitals are very, very well prepared. Washington is very, very well prepared. At this point, nobody is really going to do anything to try to weaken any of the defenses, because they know that their head is going to roll. And so there really is a great deal of defense and protection. Now, do I think that there's going to be violence? Yes, I do. Do I think some people are going to get hurt? Yes, I do. Do I think that there is going to be sort of like the crazed behavior that we witnessed on the 6th of January? I don't think so. This feels far more organized, far more military-like, far more strategic. And I'm talking about the people who are coming to riot. You're kind of, what you're left with is those kind of crazy paramilitary people who, do training in the backwoods or whatever. But just by sheer volume and numbers, they're going to be outnumbered. And so, yes, they're going to be showing up. I don't know if that violence is going to start tonight or tomorrow, as they have, promised. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it just doesn't feel as if it is going to be, I almost want to say, almost like as scary, as terrifying, as unbelievable as the 6th was. Because even though we all kind of knew that it could go that way, the reality is so much more difficult to process than the thought that it might happen, okay? There are a lot of people in positions of power who really are going to be seriously thinking about leaving the government, backing away, et cetera, because they're in so much trouble now. All right, so these are awesome cards to get, right? So you have the Hierophant and you have Temperance. So what they're saying, the message is, listen, it's going to get bad. Stay safe. For God's sake, stay in your homes this weekend. And if you are that way inclined, spend some time in prayer, spend some time sending positive energy and protective energy to those who are going to be protecting those symbols and the people connected to what actually makes American democracy. But these two cards are really sending out a message that, listen, the government is going to hold, and there's going to be balance. It's not going to be as lopsided as it was the last time, and there's going to be some calm coming down. And of course, the Fool shows up. And one of the things that is going to happen going forward in very short order is there is going to be a lot more information coming out about the government people who aided and abetted, who were accomplices, who were part of this insurgents movement. All of the dirty tricks, all of them, are going to start bubbling to the surface. And trust me, the American people, the court systems, the government, the House, the Senate, are not going to sit quietly for this. This stuff is not going to get swept under the rug. And as citizens, honestly, if you feel that it is, or it might be, your power now. You absolutely do. And you get on the phone or you get on your computer and you start letting your government representatives, and frankly, the White House, know this is not acceptable. You are not going to let this lay down. You want this stopped. You want it brought to an end. And you want this kind of behavior punished in a significant enough way so that it sends a very clear message about doing it again. I have to tell you, if the government going forward is going to actually have any problems, so there was the Tea Party, right? And they created a lot of problems within the Republican Party, but they built strength, unfortunately. And so now you have 12 House reps who believe the QAnon conspiracies? Oh my Lord. and you've got white supremacists in there. Those are the ones that are going to create the problems for the Republican Party going forward. Because just like the Tea Party, they are going to keep talking, and they are going to build up momentum, and people who are desperate to believe are going to continue to support that. And so really, that is something that as citizens, you need to be very mindful of the fact that that really is something that you should push back on. Hopefully lessons were learned from the Tea Party, and you can't look at these kinds of people and say they're crazy, just ignore them, they'll go away. They won't. So, it's important to support any disciplinary actions, any removals from office. And it is important to encourage, whether it's the media, newspapers, whatever it is, to keep exposing these people for I'm sorry, the lunatics that they are. Okay, let's look at the inauguration. All right, come on down. Okay, so the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on January 20th, 2021. Oh my goodness, these cards are being really slippery. January 20, inauguration, Joe and Kamala. January 20, inauguration, Joe and Kamala. January 20, inauguration, Joe and Kamala. For those of you wondering, both of the puppies are beside me, having their mid-morning snooze, and they're snoring up a storm. So if that's what you're hearing, that's what it is. I don't know where Nova is, but he's either having a nap or finding something else of mine that he would like to hide. Perfect. Okay. Don't be panicking about these cards. All right. You are almost going to be able to feel a shift in energy as those oaths of office are taken. It is going to put, paid, a period, to the destruction and the volatility and, frankly, the attempted collapse of the government and of Trump and his crazy, crazy mind, his beliefs, his ramblings, his unhinged behavior. You're actually going to feel sort of this shift in energy, like as if the whole world is able to finally exhale and breathe. So that is exciting, and that's what you really need to be focused on. You don't want to be focused for the next few days of what if there's an assassination attempt, or what if somebody tries. Don't go there. Focus on the fact that you are collectively, as a country, are bringing in clear energy that's to be celebrated, a administration, a president, vice president team that is going to restore justice and balance and clarity, and they're going to move very quickly and they're going to be quite aggressive in not only implementing the things that need to be implemented, like literally at, I don't know, how long does it take to swear an oath of office? Like I'm telling you, like by 12:15, things are going to be up and moving. There's going to be a lot of stuff that happens literally that day that's going to be just like done because it needs to be, and they are prepared and they are ready to go ahead. There is really going to be that sense of celebration in the country and frankly by the world. So these three cards, of course, represent Trump and what is being left behind, what is no longer going to be part of the American reality. Let's just get that out of the way already. Enough. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So I'm not getting really any significant indications that, there's really going to be anything that needs to be particularly worried about. So I don't know if you have heard, but apparently from what I understand, the Secret Service people that protected Vice President Biden are the same people who are now on board to protect President Biden. And from what I understand, many of the Secret Service people who were protecting Obama have now stepped up, and they are the ones that are going to be surrounding Kamala. So the Secret Service around them is strong, is powerful, it is loyal. So every single thing that can be done to protect them is being done and will be done. And the country is going to move forward with amazing speed. There is going to be a real push to get out of the crazy and into calm waters moving forward. There is going to be that energy about, looking forward, not looking back. You have the Seven of Pentacles here, and right now it is representing an assessment. It's looking at what you have, looking at what you have to work with, figuring out where resources need to go, where money needs to go, where talent, skill, etc. needs to go. And that's going to be falling into place. You have, for goodness sakes, both the 9 and the 10 of Cups here. Okay, this is going to be a period of happy celebration. It may be after the fact that you get stories of things that were stopped right before the inauguration attempts, perhaps, or arrests, that kind of thing. But as far as the actual inauguration, I am not getting anything that gives me honestly, any cause for worry. The Death card here is really perfect, right? Because it really does say there is an ending and there is a new beginning. And the phoenix is going to rise from the ashes, or perhaps I should say the bald eagle. But there really is going to be that sense of a new beginning. And that's just as absolutely as it should be. There is enough with the blinders and the blind loyalty. There is enough with the kind of politics that has gone on. And listen, this is not going to be an easy little trip for Joe and Kamala, okay? They have a hair-thin Senate. And frankly, even the House is not as powerful as they were before the election. They lost seats. They didn't gain seats. But there seems to be purpose and clarity moving forward I have to say, in a way that it feels very much like the Democrats have not had before, perhaps because they realize that they also bear responsibility. And it's time for everybody to clean up their act and get back to governing the country, which is what they are voted in to do. But listen, the sun is here. It's going to shine. You've got bright days ahead. But whatever you do, you've got the judgment card here, okay? Whatever you do, stay safe. Don't get out there. Don't do anything. And like I say, to the best of your ability, please try to keep your thoughts, positive. Spend your time not in worry or anxiety. Spend your time in meditation, in prayer, or just staying in a really, really positive place. There's 4 days left. We've made it this far. We're going to make it, okay? For what is left of the weekend, enjoy yourself. Get some rest. It's going to be a stressful couple of weeks coming forward. But again, success is at hand, okay, and change is at hand. Just interesting for anybody who is interested in a private reading. The information is in the box below, and I'm booking sort of late February and even into early March. So I will see you on Monday. Don't forget to put your questions in the comment section if you have any for the pendulum, and I will see you then. I'll see you on Sunday for the Positive Energy Circle. Until next week, take care. Be well. I'll see you really soon. Bye-bye.